What's up, everybody? John here with Motivation Theory Running, and today I'm going to be answering a question that I got on a video that I released yesterday. This channel has been around for going on 6 years, and I've told my kind of origin story several times over the years, and I don't know when the last time I've kind of told the full story about how I got into running, but Joseph Grasso asks, "Hey John, could you tell us the story of how you started running or refer me to a video with that story? I started running at 30 and have had ups and downs and could use a story to relate to." So Joseph, absolutely. I'm going to tell you the story of how I got into running. So everyone, buckle in. I'm going to tell you the super exciting story about how I got into running. So 14 years ago, I was 30 years old. And I had been in my professional career for about 8 years. And before that, I was in college. And before that, obviously, high school. I was a high school athlete. I was a sprinter. I was a baseball player, a football player. I was very active. And I was a sprinter. And I hated distance running. It was a mile. That's the most ridiculous thing I could have ever heard. And I hated running a mile. In baseball, they made us do it as pitchers. And I would do everything I could to either get out of it or drag it out to the point of protest. It was just ridiculous. As I got older, my metabolism started to slow. I started to love food. And my first semester in college, I think I gained about 20 pounds. And which wasn't bad because I was an athlete. So I was just getting bulkier. So when I was in college, after gaining that initial weight, I would kind of balloon up and down. Never being super healthy, just kind of would work out some, go to the gym and work out, never ran, just to kind of get in shape. And that kind of went on and on and on until I got into my professional career about 22. Then I started kind of riding a desk and traveling and flying around and really started to eat out a lot and having no exercise. So I ballooned up, I think probably 35 pounds over my 20s in my professional career. When I was at probably the 8-year period between 22 and 30, I probably put on a total of, 40 to 50 pounds. And the type of frame that I am, it kind of just all evens out. So I look like I swell, like a tick bit me or something, and I had an allergic reaction, whatever someone would look like to where their whole body swells. That's what would happen to me. Anyways, I got married at 25 and I lost 20 pounds, I think, for the wedding, and then I kind of just ballooned back up again. So this was kind of a yo-yo thing that I did throughout the years. So when I turned 30, I just was fed up. I was listening to a lot of Tony Robbins, and he talked a lot about getting disturbed, and being skinny feels better than food tastes. And I just was kind of going through a change and kind of an epiphany in my life going from my 20s into my 30s. And I just said, I'm just tired of being fat and tired of being out of shape. So how I started to lose the weight, how I actually got into running is I had a treadmill and I had it in the garage. And I couldn't run 5 minutes. I literally could not run 5 minutes. And I was very insecure about that. And I didn't want to be the guy on the street chugging down the street where I'm just walking and dying in an oversized shirt and just kind of struggling along. I don't know. I don't see the big deal now, but back then I was very insecure about that. So I ran in the garage on a treadmill for a long time, so I could run 5 minutes until I could run a mile, and then 2 miles and 3 miles. And then I started losing more and more weight to the point where I would run outside. And that kind of led me into looking into races. I had never run any kind of race before that. So I entered some 5Ks and then eventually 10Ks. Half marathons. I fell in love with the half marathon, and then I really started trying to race those. And then I decided, because I kind of got this OCD with numbers, I decided that I was going to run marathons. And I started training for the Marine Corps marathon. And then I ran marathons, and I ran a bunch of those, got into the Runners Club for the Marine Corps marathon. And so right about the time that I would probably run maybe 2 or 3 marathons, I read the book The Ultramarathon Man and Born to Run. And that put the seed in my head about running ultramarathons. And that's what kind of led me down the ultramarathon path. So when I talk about from the point in time where I started running at 30 to where I am now, I've had some times where I've stopped and I've had to lose weight again after gaining it. And I've always had kind of a struggle, kind of this love-hate thing with food. I love food and I love eating. I've probably never really been very good at portion control, and I stress eat. Especially because of my career, I would go through periods where I would kind of shut down and kind of I would get to the point where I couldn't handle really doing a lot of other things. I would come home to my family and then I would eat and I would, just concentrate on work or studying. Because again, I was working through getting all of my degrees, my associates, my bachelor's, my master's during all that time. So it was just a lot of stress on me with my career and school and family. So there would be times where I would kind of fall out of running and then I would get back into it. But there was a good probably 8-year period where I ran consistently and kept the weight off, and it was great. I really enjoy running. It's been a stress reliever for me. It's been a healthy way for me to control my weight. And the reason I wanted to tell you all my story is because I know a lot of you struggle out there. You struggle with weight, you struggle with stress, you struggle with family things, and running kind of, when you start to prioritize things, running can take the back seat. Health can take the back seat. Eating correctly can take the back seat. I know that because it's done that in my life. And I know that I've never been happier and I've never felt better in my life than when I'm running, than when I'm eating well and I'm counting calories and I'm on my workout plan and my nutritional plan and I'm staying thin. Tony Robbins said it best when he says, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And I completely agree with that. It's a healthy way to be. It's a healthy way to kind of look at things. When you make that decision, whether or not I'm going to eat this 2,000 calorie meal and not work out, or am I going to eat a 1,000 calorie meal and I'm going to work out? I mean, at least you're kind of evening out there. You really got to count the calories. And I'm releasing a video in the next couple of days where I talk about weight loss with running. And I talk a little bit about my struggles with that. And the reason I tell all of you this is because when you see people online, you see them on Instagram and YouTube, and you see the people that are into running and fitness, I think there's probably a tendency to think that it was always very easy for all of us. And I'm going to tell you that it is not easy for me. It hasn't been easy for me. As a father of 5, as a married father of 5, I've been married almost 20 years. I've struggled with weight. I've gone up and down many times over the years, and that's why I know what works. I know what works because I've done it many, many times. And that probably doesn't help me kind of stay where I need to be, because I know that I can just kind of fall out of it and then come back into it. But, life has different demands at different points in time, and we go through different things. And sometimes things in life take priority over things like running, and sometimes it's happened like that for me. Sometimes it's not always okay for me to run 40 or 50 miles in a week or train for an ultra marathon. Sometimes I gotta be there for the family or be there for school or work, and you just gotta prioritize. I just want you all to know that you're not alone. Everyone struggles, whether they show it or not. All the people that you see are not perfect. We all struggle, and struggling is okay. Failing is okay. It's, again, the old cliche thing. It's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get back up. And while it's cliche, it's true. I have fallen many times in my running career, and I've gotten back up. And that's all that matters, is I've gotten back up and I continue to maintain. Just like in ultras, I continue to put one foot in front of the other. I continue to never give up, and you never fail if you never give up. And I just ask you all, if you're struggling, it's okay. Reach out to someone. Send me a text. Send me in one of the comments. You can send me an email, and I'll do the best I can to respond. I make videos like this so that you guys can see that everyone's human, that everyone stresses and struggles and fails. And it's okay. It's okay. So that's a little bit of my story. Started when I was 30. I'm 44 now. I've struggled. If you're struggling, it's okay. There's many of us out there that do. Right now, there's never been a better time to kind of start running. I know that there's a lot of stress going on in the world, but a lot of us are home, and it's allowed me, while this is a terrible thing, it's allowed me the time to spend with my family and to kind of get myself back in shape and kind of put the things that are important to me that are not directly tied to putting a roof over my head, which is important, but this has allowed me to have time to do other things that I value greatly. So I hope this helps all of you. I hope you understand that I don't do this to ever portray myself as being perfect or that I know everything. I do this because, I want to share my story for those of you who do struggle, and so that you know that there are others out there that are willing to actually be transparent and honest about the struggles that they go through. And I will always be as honest and transparent as I can about my journey into running. And I hope you guys kind of value that and appreciate that. Let me leave you with the video. So I'm going to leave you with the video that talks about how you can start a running program. I say over 30, but it would pretty much work with anyone. I'm going to leave that video over here, and I'm going to also leave you with the playlist where it's my 16-week, my Couch to 16-week ultra marathon. So enjoy those. Go ahead and click on one of those, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.